My ninjas, what is good? We're gonna be playing with Marciana in more ways than one, I might add. But today, we are going to basically test her out, showcase her, put her in all her best teams, and compare her against other strong Iron DPS to see how she measures up. But I'm not gonna waste any more of y'all time. Let's dive right in. Give y'all a slight peek of what my Marciana is looking like. She got overload level 5 on the helm and the boots. I don't have enough materials to get the chests upgraded. Boots can always stay at level 0. And then her old line, she rocking about, I think I had like 3 lines of elemental and then 2 attack. Yep, 3 lines of elemental, 2 attack. 3 and 3, my bad. And then one got some other stats in there like max ammo and then the useless charge speed, but that's just another Tuesday. She rocking level 7 stats across the board, and then she's going to be rocking resilience cube. You probably put on Bastion on her too. I got a LB1 Marciana. If you haven't seen the tragedy that was my summoning video, please go check it out. You can see my despair. She also has a level 0 dog. But anyway, we're going to compare Marcy up against her closest comparison, I feel like, which would be Eve, another B3 Iron AR Nikke or user. Well, I can show you what my Eve looking like. Now, my Eve, as y'all can see just off the bat, is way more invested. Core 5, it still hurts me that I could not get Core 7 on Eve. Rank Affection 30, level 5 gear across the board, except for the boots, that was level 2. Rock, these are her OL lines, like boom, black line of elemental there, elemental attack, elemental ammo, and then level 10 skills, and then she rocking Bastion cube. But let's see how we do. All right, so let's see. Probably not soon be surprised that my Eve is gonna out damage my Marciana. Different levels of investment.
Why isn't this working? Don't look.
God damn, I just got mooned, flash banged, and wait, what was I saying again? What was we talking about? Oh yeah.
This is my territory. Keep pushing forward. Back to it.
I lost my train of thought, guys.
Careful now.
That's terrible. I seriously lost my train of thought.
My hands are
Under the light of the kingdom.
Time has come. Let's give it
Oh yeah, my Marciana is definitely. Let's see how far off or the gap between their damage. If it's a closer gap, she's probably gonna be pretty solid. If the gap is on the wider side, it's gonna be looking a little rough. Okay, we about a little over a minute and a half in, and we done about 4.5 bill. But all right, we wrapping up the countdown on the timer. Okay, so 9.6 billion. Again, I need y'all comment who you think did the most damage between Eve and Marcy. I'm gonna give y'all about a little bit of time. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay, so that is actually a lot closer than I thought it'd be. Like, it's only like a little under a 2 million damage difference. Most likely, if my Marciana was a bit more invested, she would out damage my Eve. That's actually kind of solid right there. But we got more testing to do. We gotta compare her up against let's see how she does against another Iron DPS. Let's see. Hold on, where is she? Where's my girl at? Where's my violinist?
Do it together.
Let's put up against Julia. But my Julia over here, hold on, let me get all the bells and whistles on her. I would say is a little bit more invested than my Eve, even though the CP doesn't show it. But is a little bit more invested in my Eve. Full treasure. Or max treasure, I should say. Max skills, oh, never mind. Almost max skills, and then max cube. So let's see how this comparison goes. Let's see, because Eve or Julia is what, in my opinion, just a lesser version of Eve. So let's see if the damage is closer. Again, same team and all that though.
Under the light of the kingdom.
With gusto.
But Coco, how you doing today? How you doing today, my friend? I know it's late as hell over there for you, because you over there in the if I remember correctly, you over there in the UK, right? It's like late as hell for you, my friend.
Tango number 2, back me up.
Under the light of the kingdom, all shall kneel.
What a wonderful day, new.
Okay, so 9.5 billion. Honestly, that damage is so close right now. Like, out of this, comment who y'all think did the most damage. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so again, Marciana is coming up short on us, and a similar amount of damage to Eve Julia did, and again, about a little 150k, or no, 150 million damage difference almost. So in terms of that, I would say she's pretty similar in terms of power between Eve and Julia anyway. But let's put her up against one of the, what I would say, the better Iron DPS. Let's test her out against, where is she? Raven, our other Stellar Blade waifu. Let's put her up against Raven. So my Raven, I would say, is about similarly invested as my Eve. Let's see, attack elemental, blue line of elemental attack, black line of attack elemental, some crit damage in there, and then black ammo and attack, max skills, max cube. Let's do the damn thing. Let's do the shit. But if we're being honest, in a raid scenario, you're probably not going to pair her up with your crown or your niche. She's probably going to be, or maybe she could make a second or a second, third team, but most likely, most of the time for most people, she's gonna be like that 4th or 5th team. I feel like that's where she's gonna be.
I will slice through all of you.
God damn, Raven is fine.
The time has come. Let's give it our all.
Again, another woman that could kill me, so that's probably why I'm attracted to her. But I don't. Chat, just ignore that I said that. Coco says scary lady. You say scary lady, but if Raven is a scary lady, then I'ma be happy then. I'm gonna be scared and happy at the same time. I will say the damage here is pretty impressive. We a little over halfway into the time and we already at like 7 mil. Okay, we reached over 10 billion, but we also coming up on the end of the timer. Well, I got a new high score, 11.8 bill. I feel like I already know who got the most damage out of the two, Marcy and Raven. But let's check as always. 3, 2, 1. Damn. Yeah. Raven wiped the floor with Marciana in terms of damage here. Over double the amount of damage that Marciana did. Like, wow. That is compared to Julia and Eve, who were relatively close. They were relatively close in terms of damage. Raven is clear, like I said, a better DPS than both of those units. So yeah, that's the comparison right there. She is somewhere, she's kind of on par with Eve and Julia. For that sole purpose, I don't think I need to pair her up against the likes of Rappy or Summer Sydney, because I'm pretty sure we all know that if Raven is out damaging Marciana by a landslide, I already know Rappy and Summer Sydney is gonna do that and times 2. But in terms of other Iron DPS, who else we got? All right, I am kind of curious when it comes to a DPS like Red Hood. Now Red Hood, she's not really meta that much nowadays. She's Iron DPS, but she's kind of like shown her age a little bit. But she is still a pilgrim, so let's see if Marcy can keep up with what at this point Red Hood is like 2.5, a little over 2.5 years old. So let's try it out. And just to give y'all a heads up, since I didn't show her, I didn't show it off before the test, my Red Hood, and of course is a lot more invested than my Marciana. Again, max skills, 4-3, max doll. I did not put a cube on her, but we gonna test this out to see, just to see, even without all the bells and not having like all the bells and whistles. Let's see who comes out on top in terms of damage. Okay, so a little under a minute, we just about to hit 8 bill.
Did you see?
Okay,
Your king has won
10.3 billion. Now, I'm actually kind of curious to see who came out on top in terms of this one. Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Red Hood did more damage. The gap is a little bit bigger than Eve and Julia were, but not as big as Raven. So yeah, Red has kind of fallen off in terms of the DPS scale, but yeah. But there is one more Iron DPS that I would like to try, and that is Chisato. A little insight in terms of for DPS. ARs are like one of the second worst weapon type for a damage dealer. They just don't be hitting that hard. But probably the number one weapon type that's the worst for a DPS is an SMG, which is what Chisato is right here. Now, Chisato is a unique case because she's a true damage DPS, but we still going to test it out just to see how well it does. Again, my Chisato is way more invested than my Eve. MLB, ranking cracks 30. Elemental ammo, elemental ammo, elemental ammo, elemental attack, max skills. Let's just give max Q. Let's see how these two do against each other. Honestly, out of all the tests we've done so far, this is the one where I'm just like the most curious. Like we got basically two of the worst weapon types for DPS head to head right now. I already know the damage ain't gonna be there. Our damage probably gonna fall off a cliff somewhere, but let's wait and see. Okay, so we 2 minutes in and we done 6.5 bill. Okay. Coming up on the end here. And the damage is not that far off as I thought it would be. 9.9 billion. Honestly, that's pretty close to the other tests we done today. So the damage didn't fall off as much as I thought. But let's see who did the most damage. 3, 2, 1. So Chisato did the most damage, but about what, a 270k gap. So yeah, she did more damage, but it's relatively close. Most likely, if my Marciana was, again, either had some more investment or on par investment, could potentially do more damage. So yeah. All right, let's take over the solo raid. Because does she buff her own elemental damage? Yep, she only buffs her own elemental damage. Just because I know somebody is going to be curious about these two up against each other. It's a pointless to do this test, but we'll test it anyway. Now, we already know Sydney is gonna wipe the floor with Marcy here. But let's see how Marcy does in a boss battle in a solo raid setting. And Marcy is at another disadvantage because this boss has parts. Not that it has parts, it's a piercing boss is what I meant to say. Marcy, can you not get lit up like a Christmas tree? You getting on awfully close to life support down there. Whoops.
Under the light of the kingdom, all shall meet. Did you see?
I did not mean for that, but let's see. Although we ain't make it to the time, and we can pretty much gather some good data from this. Let's see. How much damage did Marciana contribute out of this? 4.8 billion. Okay, so Sydney did 1.8 billion, and then Marcy did 1.2. That number's a lot closer than I thought it'd be. But yeah, again, that's a major gap right there. That is like a major gap. But yeah, in a solo raid team, you could run that. But my ninjas, that is all I got for you today. Marciana is an interesting unit. Now, she's not insanely broken. Honestly, she can hold her own against some of the other Iron DPS units. But yeah, now when it comes to if you should pull, I would say if you're a veteran player, yes, pull. Like, get at least one copy, because let's be honest, you won't be in a solo raid situation where you like, bro, I came in like the top 3.01%. If only I could have done like 100k more damage. The guy hitting me had a Marciana on a Summer Marcy on his team, and I didn't have her, and I'm sad now. You don't want to be in that situation. Don't put yourself in that situation. So yes, get yourself a copy. As for a newer player, I would say definitely get you a copy of Sydney first and foremost, and then honestly, with Dorothy and Ele going on, I would honestly suggest you get a copy of Dorothy before Marciana. And then I would say when moving on between her and Ele, I would say those two are pretty on par. Eleg is on par with Marciana, probably. So for that one is up against a coin toss, but I'll leave that discretion to you. But in terms of those two, I would probably lean more to Summer Eleg over Marciana. It's only because like Marciana is just a very selfish DPS. Eleg, at least is, speaking of the devil, there she goes right there. Eleg, if we look at her, at least support gives a little bit of support. She buffs all water code allies, so yeah, she provides attack and elemental damage for all water code allies on the team. So in terms of that, Eleg is like slightly better because, you know, she doesn't just do DPS, she also helps the team do more damage too. So yeah, but if you enjoyed the video, you already know what to do. Reach out and slap that like and subscribe button right in the bare cheek one time. Just like how you want to slap Marciana right here, right in the bare cheek one time. And you know you want to smack that penguin booty. You know you want to. Leave me a comment telling me how you're enjoying Marciana and honestly the summer event overall. And until next time, ninjas, roll out.